official reviews, scientific supervisors, candidates, and guests. Let me introduce the members of dissertation council present at today's meeting. On the meeting of the dissertation council for awarding the degree of Doctor of Philology PhD in the growth of specialists education programs 6D021300 AD02303 linguistics 6D02100 AD02306 foreign philology AD01605 foreign language, 2 foreign languages, 6D02070, AD02303 translation studies, AD02208 Turkology, established Al-Farabi Kazakh National University, Almaty, June 9, 2026. The dissertation council consists of 8 members. All members are present at the meeting. Raushangull Avakova, Chair Doctor of Philological Science Professor, Albina Dusanova, Deputy Chair, PhD, Associate Professor, Kamar Aldasheva, Academic Secretary, PhD, Associate Professor, Anar Fazljan, Candidate of Philological Science, Associate Professor, Director of the Ahmet Baytarsunova Institute of Linguistics. Members qualified in the educational program AD02306 Foreign Philology, Western Language, AD02306 Foreign Philology, Western Language are present. Today, the comparative members of the dissertation council are also attending the defense of Ань Лань, whose dissertation has been submitted for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy PhD in this educational program. The temporary members of the dissertation councils are Volkova Yana, Doctor of Philological Science, Professor, People's Friendship University of Russia, Moscow, Russia. Жумабекова Айгуль, Doctor of Philological Science, Professor, Abay Kazakh National Pedagogical University, Almaty, Kazakhstan. Қалибекұлы Толқын, Candidate of Philological Science, Associate Professor, Ablayхан Kazakh University of International Relations and the World Language. Қалибекұлы Толқын, Candidate declare the meeting of the dissertation council open. According to the attendance sheet, the required members of members of the dissertation council is present. There is quorum to open the meeting. Are there any objections?
No objections.
The agenda included the public defense of the dissertation by Ань Лань for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy PhD in the educational program AD02307 foreign language, Western languages, of the topic lingua, cognitive and ethnocultural analysis of the concept marriage and family in phenomenology. Scientific supervisors. Bilkhojaeva Gulnar, candidate of philological science, Al-Farabi Kazakh National University, Almaty, Kazakhstan. Yan Go, doctor of philological science, professor, He-An Jiatang University, He-An P.A.C. Official reviews. Aliakbarova Aygerim, PhD, Kazakh National Women Teacher Training University, Almaty, Kazakhstan. Ismailova Fariza, PhD, Kenjigali Sagadeev University of National Business, Almaty, Kazakhstan. The dissertation is submitted for defense for the first time. All required dissertation documents have been published on the official website and the Dissertation Council. All members of the Dissertation Council have received the dissertation materials. The defense, the being the defense is being conducted in a hybrid form. All required dissertation documents have been published on the official website of the Dissertation Council. For a hybrid of the video conference meeting of the Dissertation Council, the following procedure are provided. Visual identification of all participants, uninterpreted video and audio transmission of participants' speech via the internet, video and audio recording of meeting, confidential secret voting by the members of the Dissertation Council, the participation of the official reviewers and temporary members of the Dissertation Council is mandatory. Are there any proposals regarding? No. If there are not proposals, I will pass the agenda to the vote. Who is against? No objections. Who abstains? Who abstentions? Who is for? All. Thank you. Agenda is approved unanimously. I now give the floor to the academic secretary of the Dissertation Council, PhD, Associate Professor Kamash Aldasheva, to present the candidates' biographical, informational, and personal file documents.
Dear members of the Dissertation Council, the documents of candidate Ань Лань registered with the Dissertation Council are as follows. First, the candidate's application for admission to the dissertation defense was accepted by the Dissertation Council on 6th May 2026 and recorded in the registration journal. The second, the dissertation vote and the online electronic meeting, and the information about the doctoral student. Ань Лань, nationality Chinese, born on April 7th, 1996 in Heilongjiang province, China. In 2018, she graduated from Beijing Sport University with a bachelor degree in teaching Chinese to speakers of other languages. In 2021, she graduated from Chang University with a master's degree in teaching Chinese to speakers of other languages. From 2021 to 2024, she completed the professional curriculum of doctoral studies at Al-Farabi Kazakh National University under the educational program APD 02306 Foreign Philology, Western Languages, and a copy of the transcript of the professional curriculum approved by the educational institution, and the reviews of local and foreign scientific advisors, and a copy of the visit sheet and the minutes from the extended meeting of the Department of Foreign Philology and Translation Studies at KASLO, where the proposal for the defense and a positive conclusion were approved by the Vice Rector for Science and Innovation of Al-Farabi Kazakh National University. The next document is reviews of the official reviews and a certificate from the National Center for Scientific and Technical Information and a certificate of submission of the dissertation and its annotation to the Library of KASLO, and a copy of the minutes of the meeting of the Academic Council of KASLO on the approval of the dissertation topic and the scientific advisors. List of scientific publications signed by the Scientific Secretary of the Faculty of Philology of KASLO and their progress. A total of 5 scientific papers has been published based on the materials of the dissertation, including 3 Scopus indexed journal articles and 2 articles in journal recommended by the Committee for Quality Assurance in Science and Higher Education of the Republic of Kazakhstan. The documents submitted by candidate Ань Лань fully meet the requirements of the rules for awarding degrees of the Committee for Quality Assurance in the field of science and higher education of the Ministry of Science and Higher Education of the Republic of Kazakhstan. Thank you.
Thank you. Dear Council members, do you have any questions for the Academic Secretary and about the candidate's personal file?
No.
No questions, thank you. Okay. The floor is given to the doctoral candidate Ань Лань to present his dissertation research. The time limit is 20 minutes.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, respected chair, members of the Dissertation Council, reviewers, and the supervisors and guests. Thank you for coming here. And it's my honor to stand here and present my dissertation. And first of all, I'd like to thank my supervisor, Professor Zina. And now I'd like to begin my presentation. The relevance of the research lies in marriage and family are fundamental social institutions, and the related proverbs preserve cultural values, ethical norms, and collective ways of thinking. English and Chinese marriage and family proverbs reflect both common human concerns and different cultural views of marital relations, kinship, gender roles, femininity, and family ethics. Their meanings continue to change under social transformation, globalization, and digital communication, making their comparison cognitive and ethnocultural studies important for linguistics, translation studies, and intercultural communication. The object of the research is the terminology system of proverbs about marriage and family in the English and Chinese languages. And the subject of my research is the cultural value, orientation, and the evolution of proverbs about marriage and family in the English and Chinese languages. The purpose of the research is to construct an integrated analytical model based on the analysis of the similarities and differences in the cognitive models and ethnocultural foundations of English and Chinese proverbs about marriage and family, and to identify their dynamic development within the framework of cognitive linguistics and ethnocultural studies. And the objectives are to construct an integrated theoretical and methodological framework, and to examine English and Chinese marriage and family proverbs, and to compare their similarities and differences, and to investigate the dynamic transformation, and then to clarify the social cognitive functions of proverbs. And the theoretical significance lies in English and Chinese marriage and family proverbs are examined as carriers of cognitive models and cultural values. the concepts of marriage and family are now analyzed through proverb meanings, metaphorical patterns, and ethnocultural implications. Marriage and family proverbs are treated as an interconnected semantic system within a broader life course framework. A comparative analytical model is proposed, moving from proverb meanings to metaphorical patterns and cultural interpretation. And the practical significance lies in the research provides examples for language teaching, translation practice, and intercultural communication. It helps explain why English and Chinese proverbs express similar themes through different cultural and metaphorical patterns. It also shows the proverb translation requires attention to literal meaning, metaphorical structure, cultural background, and value orientation. And the findings may be useful for corpus construction, digital humanities, and AI or large language models in the future. And the novelty lies in the concepts of marriage and family are examined as a unified and interconnected cultural semantic system. Traditional modern digital proverbs are included to show the dynamic transformation in a study. And an integrated analytical model combining quantitative linguistics and ethnocultural analysis is proposed. And proverb analysis is extended to the field of AI or large language models. And the key propositions are an integrated linguo-cognitive and ethnocultural approach is proposed. And marriage and family proverbs are examined as an interconnected cognitive, cultural, and semantic system. Their similarities and differences are interpreted through cognitive models and culturally shaped value orientations. And proverbs are viewed as dynamic linguistics and cultural unites. And proverbs are shown to function as social cognitive mechanisms for transmitting norms, shaping memory, and reconstructing cultural identity. We have studied the relevant literature by scholars from many different countries. Previous studies have explored proverbs from various perspectives, but few have combined cognitive linguistics and ethnocultural analysis to study English and Chinese marriage and family proverbs as an interconnected semantic system. And in my study, we used the qualitative comparative study method, include cognitive linguistics analysis, ethnocultural analysis, cross-cultural comparative, and corpus-based verification. There are about 600 proverbs in my study, and there are approximately 500 traditional and modern proverbs are from dictionaries and reference corpora. And there are about 100 digital proverbs from online platform. And there are approximately 300 English marriage and family proverbs, and also about 300 Chinese marriage and family proverbs. And these four are the English dictionaries. And these are the Chinese dictionaries. And here's the online platforms. In chapter 1, we gave some definitions, just like terminology, proverb, concept of marriage and family. And then we discussed the interaction of language, culture, and cognition. We believe that the relationship between language, culture, and cognition is bidirectional, and they formed a cognitive ecosystem. And here's the most important theory in my dissertation, the conceptual metaphor theory, introduced by George Lakoff and Johnson in 1980. Conceptual metaphor is a cross-domain mapping in the conceptual system, allowing people to understand abstract concepts through concrete experience. And there are two key features of metaphor. The first one, metaphors are conceptual. It means they reflect how we mentally organize and interpret experience. And the second one is metaphors rely on conceptual mapping. Conceptual cognitive mapping from a source domain to a target domain. And the source domain are always concrete, familiar, such as mind, journey. And target domain are always abstract and hard to grasp, just like time, love. And there is a classic example, the English proverb. Marriage is a journey. In this proverb, the marriage is the target domain and the journey is the source domain. We use the source domain journey to understand the target domain marriage. And that is the key points in chapter 1. And in chapter 2, we discussed the origin, development, and the formation of English and Chinese proverbs. Both of them have these 7 stages, and but they are different. The specific differences is in my dedication. And we also discussed the comparison of the influence of cultural, religion, or philosophy and social background on English and Chinese proverbs. About them, the factors are cultural background, religious or philosophical background, and social background. English proverbs reflect the influence by individualism, direct expression, and analytical thinking, Christianity, island geography, agriculture transferred to commercial capitalism, and higher social mobility, lower power distance. And English proverbs influenced by collectivism, indirect expression, holistic thinking, Confucianism, inland agricultural civilization, long-term agrarian economy, lineage-based patriarchal system, and high power distance. And we discussed the contemporary transformation of proverbs. And there are several features, just like emergence of digital proverbs, globalization and cross-cultural circulation, new values and stylistic innovation, decline of traditional ethical norms, functional transformation under generation tension. Critical inheritance and semantic recontextualization, and we gave the corresponding examples here. That are the key points in chapter 2. And in chapter 3, we discussed the conceptual metaphor types in English marriage proverbs and Chinese marriage proverbs, and also the English family proverbs and Chinese family proverbs. And about the English marriage proverbs, we have these metaphor types, just like marriage is a contract or investment, marriage is a journey, marriage is a building, marriage is a prison, marriage is hierarchy, to marriage is a partnership. And also we gave the corresponding examples here. And about the Chinese marriage proverbs, we have marriage is predestined affinity. Marriage is harmonious music. Marriage is a production team. Marriage is a grief. Marriage as hierarchy to marriage as equal cooperation. And we also gave the corresponding examples here. And then we discussed the metaphorical comparisons of English and Chinese marriage proverbs. We believe that English marriage proverbs always use the commercial or economic domain, physical spatial domain, and competitive games domain. And Chinese marriage proverbs always use natural or cosmic domain, artistic domain, agricultural economic domain. And then the conceptual metaphor types in English family proverbs. For example, family is a safe haven. Family is a tree. Family is a team. Family is a place of education. And also we gave the corresponding example proverbs here. And about the Chinese family proverbs, we have family is a tree or root. Family is a natural ecosystem. Family's mission is to continue the ancestral line. Family is a place of responsibility and obligation. Family is a hierarchical system. Family is a safe space. And also we gave the corresponding examples here. And then we discussed the metaphorical comparison of English and Chinese family proverbs here. English family proverbs are always use the psychological and the emotional domain, a natural domain, social organizational domain, educational domain. And Chinese family proverbs always use natural or cosmic domain, ethical and moral domain, political and structural domain, and educational domain. And then we discussed the ethnocultural analysis of the English proverbs on marriage and family. We believe that English marriage proverbs can be divided into various themes, and the family proverbs can be divided into various themes. And just like the themes about love and affection, we have examples like love conquers all. We also have these themes about mate selection, wisdom, warning about marriage choices, marriage relationship maintains, marriage reality description, marriage contract and commitment, gender roles and expectations. And also here's the corresponding proverbs. And about the Chinese, and about the English family proverbs, we have the things like parent and child's relationship and education, blood ties and kinship, family stability and responsibility, family belonging and warmth, and also we gave the corresponding examples here. And also we discussed the ethnocultural analysis of Chinese proverbs on marriage and family. And the themes of Chinese marriage proverbs can be divided into marriage purpose and function, marriage age and timing, mate selection criteria, warnings about marriage choices, marriage institution, gender roles and status, marriage relationship maintains, marriage reality description, divorce and remarry. And we also gave the corresponding examples here. And about the themes of Chinese family proverbs, we have a parent and child relationship and filial piety, lineage continuation and son preference, family education and reputation, affinal relations among women, and also the corresponding examples are here. And then we discussed the comparison of marriage views reflected in English and the Chinese proverbs. For example, about the marriage purpose, English marriage proverbs reflect that the purpose is contract or commitment transferred to about love and affection. And Chinese marriage proverbs reflect that marriage purpose is about procreation, economic support, and life security transferred to love-based marriage. And also we have those dimensions like marriage age and timing, mate selection criteria, marriage decision warnings, marriage institution, gender division and status, marriage relationship maintains, marriage reality description, and divorce and remarry. And then we discussed the comparison of family views reflect in English and Chinese thoughts. And we also have these dimensions: family structure, parent and child relationship, family education, family responsibility, family value and function, internal hierarchy and gender concepts, family conflicts, and resolution. And the specific differences is in my dissertation. And so that are the key points in chapter 3. And the key findings and main contributions lie in English and Chinese marriage and family problems are compared from cognitive and ethnocultural perspectives. And different metaphorical systems and cultural mappings of marriage and family are identified. English values of individual autonomy, emotional choice, contractual partnership, and nuclear family orientations are reviewed. And Chinese values of family harmony, filial duty, lineage continuity, and the ethical hierarchy are reviewed. Modern shifts toward affection, equality, personal choice, and emotional support are demonstrated in both traditions. And integrated cognitive and ethnocultural analytical framework is constructed. Digital proverbs are included to show the contemporary transformation of proverb system in the digital area. And the limitations lie in we didn't fully covered all the dialectal and regional and low frequency proverbs in my study. And in the future research, we will expand the corpus and include multilingual comparison. And ethnographic corpus-based and big data methods may be applied to trace conceptual changes more systematically. So that's all. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The presentation is from Richard. Thank you, Ань Лань. Dear members of the dissertation council, please ask your questions to the candidate, please.
Dear PhD candidate, thank you for your presentation. So my first question is, in your dissertation, you analyzed about digital proverbs and anti-proverbs, yeah, which was very interesting for me. And which criteria do you use to analyze them, to identify them? And the second question is, which of your findings do you consider the most theoretical contribution to the field of cognitive linguistics? And the third one, if you were to expand, to continue your dissertation in the future, which additional languages and cultural traditions would you like to include in your research and why?
Okay.
So,
Okay, thank you. For the digital and anti-proverb, we identify digital proverbs mainly according to 3 criteria. First, the expression should be concise, and secondly, it should be a generalized meaning or value judgment. And third, it should be it should have a certain degree of repetition and circulation in online context, because we collect all these digital proverbs from online platforms. And so a digital proverb is proverb-like expression created or circulated on digital platforms, and an anti-proverb is an intentional modification of traditional proverbs, usually with humorous or ironic meaning. So although digital proverbs and anti-proverbs are new in form, that they still have the core features of proverbs. And about the contribution, we believe that there is a very, I think, very interesting contribution. AI and large language models are often have difficulties in processing proverbs because proverbs are always contain metaphorical meaning, cultural background, contextual dependence, and value judgment. And AI may interpret proverbs literally, ignore cultural values, and or use some inappropriate cultural equivalent in translation. And this we believe that our research analyzed the semantic themes, metaphorical context, and cultural values of English and Chinese marriage and family proverbs. So they can provide useful reference for AI or large language models, I think. And about the third question, in my future research, we believe that maybe we will include Kazakh language because I think Kazakhstan is a multilingual and multicultural country. So the study of proverbs can also help deepen the understanding of cultural values, family concepts, and intercultural communication. And this kind of methods can also be used to study the Kazakh proverbs. And so it's nice.
Yeah, thank you. We will give the examples of anti-proverbs.
Yeah, of course. The anti-proverbs, just like here's the Chinese proverbs. The original version is 有情人终成眷属. It means true lovers eventually get together. And now the anti-proverbs is 有情人终成房奴. It means true lovers eventually become mortgaged slaves. And it's a very interesting examples that it's full of ironic meanings. It means if you have true love, okay, then buy a house and you'll be poor. It's just like this. It's very classic anti-proverb.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I'm fully satisfied with the answer.
Dear Ань Лань, my first question is the object of your research is the paremiological system of proverbs. Please define this term. How do you understand it? Yeah? Paremiological system of proverbs. And my second question is, can you demonstrate a specific two-dimensional analytical model that can be used to analyze proverbs from different languages? And a related question, what is the difference between a model and an approach? Века.
Okay, thank you. I mean, in my study, the paremiology system, I do not mean the isolated single proverbs and or individual proverbs. I mean a group of interrelated proverbs formed around the themes of marriage and family in my study. And these proverbs are connected through semantic themes, metaphorical patterns, and cultural values and social functions. For example, marriage proverbs involve mate selection, marital relations, or marriage responsibilities and marriage institutions. Family proverbs further involve child and parent relationships and filial piety, family education, kinship order, and intergenerational continuity. So therefore, they are not separate examples, but connected forward systems. That is what I mentioned, the paremiological system. And about the I believe that this kind of framework can be used to study different languages. I don't think there are some any specific tools of the integrated analytical model include the cognitive linguistic part and ethnocultural part. And the cognitive linguistic can tell us why, how do people understand the concepts of marriage and family immensely. And the ethnocultural analysis can tell us why they understand the concepts of marriage and family like this. So we just include the semantic meaning analysis and cognitive linguistics analysis and ethnocultural analysis. So I think it's a whole and useful framework to study other different languages. I'm sorry, I forgot the third question.
Differences between a model and an approach.
Okay. I think the model means structured analytical framework. And in my dissertation, the two dimensions, I mean the linguo-cognitive and ethnocultural analysis, they integrated model combining the cognitive and ethnocultural. And the model approach means the methodological procedure of applying the model. And it refers to how the model is operationalized in the specific analysis. So in my opinion, the model equals to the theoretical structure, and the model approach equals to practical application of this structure.
I am satisfied with the answer.
Okay.
Okay.
Next.
Yana Alexandrovna, I have questions.
Yes, I do have a couple of questions. Thank you for a very interesting presentation and very interesting dissertation as well. But I have a question, and actually it relates to the very first question you were asked. How do you distinguish a digital proverb from an anti-proverb? Practically, in case as far as I understand, they're both context dependent, right? And they're both highly variable. They change here, so within the context. So how do you distinguish a digital proverb from an anti-proverb? Yeah, and which criteria do you use to decide that a digital expression already functions as a proverb, that it is not a meme, a slogan, a quotation, or simply a popular phrase? Is the question clear, or should I repeat?
Yeah, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much. Please.
Okay. And about the digital proverbs and anti-proverbs, sometimes they are overlapped, and just like some digital proverbs are also anti-proverbs, and some anti-proverbs are also digital proverbs, but they are different. Digital proverbs focuses on his spreading way. The digital proverbs is proverb-like expression created or circulated on digital platforms, just like what I mentioned, the Weibo, Zhihu, Twitter, and Instagram. And anti-proverbs focuses on the modification of traditional proverbs. It means digital proverbs didn't have to modify the traditional proverb, but the anti-proverb must modify the traditional proverb, and then it could be an anti-proverb. And about the
Criteria.
About the criteria.
Criteria for distinguishing between digital proverb and meme, slogan, quotation, or just a viral phrase, a popular phrase.
Okay, we didn't include memes, a slogan, or a popular phrase in our study. We didn't see them as the digital proverbs because first one about the structure stability, the digital proverbs also has the rules of proverbs. It is also a fixed pattern, just like the traditional or modern proverbs. And but the meme slogans or popular phrases are always not stable. But digital proverbs, some of the digital proverbs are have this feature. They are stable and. And about the high user frequency, the digital proverbs are obviously has a high user frequency than memes and some slogans. So it's also the criteria. And memes can be seen as often event-specific and multi-model. And the slogan, we can see it as persuade and goal-oriented. And quotations, we can see it as attributed to a specific source. So I think it's the criteria for we choose the digital proverbs, but not these main slogans and all of it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Яна Владимировна. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Яна Alexandra, sorry.
That's fine. Okay.
Дальше сюда.你们打开第9页，上面写的是研究方法论的一些科学家，这里面是没有一个中国学者，为什么？因为是66里面是50%写的是汉语言语，这是第一个问题。第二个问题是，你是写的说的是言语学，对不对？但是这里面也有俗语，你说言语和俗语有什么区别？还有研究言语的中国学者，你知道哪一个学者？你这里可以说3个学者，他们主要是有什么有名的专著？3个问题。Аударып берейін бе жоқ? Қазақ тұратын бұл жерде жаңа методологияда негізінен батыс ғалымдары, Қазақстан ғалымдары жазылған, не үшін Қытай ғалымдары жоқ? Өйткені бұлардың жұмыстың көп мысалдарының бәрі қытайша берілген, жаңа мақал мәтел. Сонда бұда Қытай ғалымдары неге жазылмады? Оларда концепция теория жоқ па? Екінші бұда мақал мәтелдеп берген, өйткені Қытайда мақал мәтел екіге бөлінеді, 2 тілдік бірлік. Олардың айырмашылығы қандай? Сосын бұл жерде жаңағы артында қосымша материалдарда Қытай ғалымдарының біреу бар, мақал мәтел зерттеген, тек біреу ғана. Сонда бұл кісіге осы мақал мәтел зерттеген ғалымның атын айтып беріңіз. 50-ші, 80-ші жылдар, 2000-ші жылдарда зерттелген. Сонда Қытай тілді материалдар өте аз болды.
Thank you for your question. About the first question, I think it's a very good suggestion. I'll take this into consideration and maybe I'll modify this part in my dissertation. And the reason why I didn't include the Chinese scholars in my research abstract, in abstract, because first of all, the faculty is focusing on the Western languages. So I think we believe that we should pay more attention to the maybe English scholars and Russian scholars, some foreign scholars. And but you're right, because there are a lot of Chinese scholars literature in my study, so I should put this add this part in my abstract. And about the second one, about 谚语 and 俗语。谚语 the purpose is usually concise and stable expression or sentence with a complete meaning. It summarizes people's bodily experience or your social interaction, and maybe moral principles or some social rules, or often have instructive or normative function. And so purpose can directly reflect views of marriage and family and social values. And about 俗语, we also see it some sayings. A common saying is, I think, is broader. It's broader than proverbs and more colloquial. And some common sayings are close to proverbs. Yes, I mean they are so close. But their stabilities and normative functions may be weaker in 俗语. I think 俗语 are more full of the regional meaning or dialectal meaning. So I think it's the most important difference between proverb and the saying. And
Can you in Chinese?
Sorry. 关于第一个问题，的确是我应该把这个中国学者的研究的这个在我论文中的贡献写在我的这个最前面，因为的确您说的很正确，在我的论文中是有很大的篇幅，我研究的是汉语学者的一些内容。但是出于对于我们学科的这个系里面的这个要求，因为我们是西方语言系嘛，所以我认为可能我们把重心放在就是和英语有关的一些学者呀，或者是俄罗斯有关的学者呀，或者哈萨克有关的一些学者可能会更好一点。但是在我的论文中呢，就是英文谚语是一个主体嘛，然后汉语谚语是作为它是的对照组。所以，您说的非常对，我这个会在后面会把这个中文学者还是要加上去的，这个我完全接受您的建议。然后第二个关于谚语和俗语这个区别，就是它们是非常像的。然后谚语和俗语有的时候甚至我们不能够很好的分清，但是谚语呢，通常来讲，我们认为它是一个比较简洁，而且那个固定化非常稳定的这样的一个语言形式。然后呢，它是基于人类的生活经验呐，或者是一些社会规训。这样形成的这个谚语，然后俗语呢，它的范围我认为是比谚语要更广的。也就是说，就是我们在无法判断一个表达是谚语还是俗语的时候，那么通常可能它就是俗语。然后还有就是俗语更容易包括那些就是比如地域性啊，还有方言性的性质。就比如有一个很好玩的例子，因为我是北方人嘛，我们那有一个叫媳妇儿孩子热炕头，这个就是一个完全北方式的一个俗语，但是我们不能认为它是一个就是可以全国通行的或者是全地区通行的这样的一个谚语这是我的想法。然后还有第三个就是关于研究谚语方面的学者，我印象最深刻的两个就是一个是叫杨燕，他是编著了一个叫中华谚语大词典，他这个词典是在我的研究过程中给我最大帮助的。
有专注的，马国藩50年就开始。
是的，是的。然后还有就是中国人民大学的博士生叫
最后面写一个人的名字特别有意思。
好的，谢谢你。
还有新福音。刚才你提出的 common saying 是不是那个什么俗语？它是一个关于语。
好的，谢谢，非常感谢。
In future, we consider, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
You've considered dictionaries also, some scholars, Chinese scholars, papers.
In Chinese, we can explain.
Chinese potential.
In Chinese, we can explain, yes. That you're going to consider these questions in
Yeah,
future.
you'll consider in your perspective
Yeah.
works, this really mentioned points. You can say it in Chinese.
Yeah,
Total. Have you already said?
no, I think so.
Okay.
Ah.
Mhm.
I do the same.
Alex, any more questions?
Thank
Alexandra,
you.
please.
I have a question. What is your scientific knowledge of your research compared to previous studies? My first question. The second one, what characteristics of a concept do you identify in your research? And the third one, what can you say about the universal metaphor, proverbs or family found in both culture? Is it universal?
Okay, thank you so much. And I think in my future study, I believe that I'll add the multilingual study and multi-model study. I mean, in my study, Kazakhstani scholars studies on proverbs, ethnoculture, family values and roles, and intercultural communication provide important theoretical and methodological references for my study. And these studies can show that proverbs are not only linguistically united, and it can reflect ethnocultural values or value orientations. And this is consistent with the cognitive and ethnocultural approach of my research. So, I mean, the findings will also offer useful information for AI or large language model studies. So my future research will focus on, first of all, the multilingual studies, and the second multi-model studies, and then we will deepen the understanding of how we use or how we teach AI or like large language models. And about the concept, in my study, we use the cognitive definitions of concept. We believe that concepts are formed based on body experience and social interaction, and the formation of concept will include several stages. I mean, also from the cognitive perspectives. First one is abstraction, and then the categorization and conceptual integration, and the social learning and experiential learning. And about the metaphor, I think the conceptual metaphor, the third one, the conceptual metaphor is universal. And the conceptual metaphor theory, the core concepts of the conceptual metaphor theory lies in abstract concepts are understood through concrete experience. And the relevant of the proverbs lies in the proverbs frequently use metaphors to convey abstract idea. So I think it's universal. It can be used to study most of language proverbs. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. But nevertheless, I wanted to know about what this theory does your research rely on. Could you name some scholars, some works?
The most important theory that I rely on is the conceptual metaphor theory introduced by George Lakoff and Johnson in 1980. George Lakoff is the most famous person about the cognitive linguistics. I use this theory in my study as the fundamental.
No, I don't have question.
Қазақша сұрайсыз, аударып бересіз бе? Жалпы мен сіздің диссертацияңызды онлайн қаным. Бірінші әдістемелік сұрақ, методологиялық жағынан. Сіз когнитивтік лингвистика және этномәдени зерттеулерді аласыз, иә? Негізгі осы екі аспектті. Осы екі өлшемді ұсынып отырсыз. Енді мысалы ағылшын тіліндегі жаңағы сіздің полимологиялық материалдарыңыз Лакофф Джонсонның метафоралық теориясына негізделген, солай ғой? Ал енді батыс тілін алатын болсақ, онда жалпы қытайлықтардың иероглифінде, ойлауында, өздерінің менталитетінде, жаңағы мүмкін бейжің мектебі бар ма, мүмкін олардың да өздерінің осы Лакоффтың мектебі сияқты мектеп бар ғой. Осы екі шкала, бір-біріне сондай ұқсамайтын екі тіл. И құрылымдық жағынан, генетикалық жағынан. Осы Қытай полимологиясын батыстық рамкаға қалайша сыйғыздыңыз? Соны бір мысалмен дәлелдеп берсеңіз, ол бірінші сұрақ. Яғни, менің сұрайын деп тұрғанымыз, сіз осы өзіңіздің қытайлық әдісті, яғни өзіңіздің материалдарыңызды, ағылшын тіліндегі материалды Қытай материалына қалай бейімдей алдыңыз? Бейімдеуге бола ма? Енді, бірінші аударып береміз,
The first question, generally in the dissertation, this very question is related to the methodological aspect of this dissertation. So you have studied the cognitive linguistics and the cultural studies in your work, but in English phenomenological materials, you have used the lack of theory, as you have mentioned. Because the Eastern culture, maybe they do have their own schools, they do have their own scholars, and how is it possible for you to adapt, for example, English materials with Chinese ones? There's huge amount of materials, how should you deal with this trend? And especially two different languages, two different cultures. Is the question clear?
Last three, with example.
Yeah, the first question, that was the first question.
And the last three with examples.
And we also have the second question.
No, not yet.
Екінші, бірден жауап берсін бе, қоян ба екінші? Жауап берсін.
If you can answer first, question, then.
Thank you for your question. And about the theoretical balance between Western and Eastern traditions, I believe, of course, this research does not rely on Western cognitive linguistics, and it integrates Eastern and Kazakhstani ethno-cultural scholarship, just like what I mentioned in my dissertation, just like including the Humboldt and the Sapir, the language and the cultural relation, and the Kazakh scholars named Kaudar.
Хайдар.
Sorry.
This is Хайдаров.
About the lingo-cultural concepts theory and the Kazakhstani ethno-linguistics scholars. And the Chinese proverbs materials are interpreted in their own Confucianism and collectivism cultural tradition. So the framework allows the culturally specific interpretation rather than we just using one Western model. And yeah, I think that's all.
Диссертациялардың сұрағын негізінен теориялық байланыстыруға тырысқан. Конкурстың сәттердің үміттен әрине көбінесе батыс еңбектеріне бағаласа, қазақ ғалымдарын да айтып өттім, мысалы қайтадан атап өтті, оның да еңбектерін лингва, мәдени концепт жағынан қарастырып дейді. Енді Қытай ғалымдарына келетін болса, енді олардың тәжірибесі коллективизмге больше келетін болғандықтан, соларды қарастырдық, материал үлкен болды, дегенмен де оны бір-бірімен байланыстыруға тырыстық.
Ну, жарайды, енді кішкене басқа жаққа кетті, жарайды. Иә, басқа жаққа дәл мен сұрағымды мүмкін дұрыс аударылмады ма. Енді екінші корпус бойынша сұрақта бұл кісі айтады ғой, 600 мақалдың 100-ін Твиттерден алдым, сосын Инстаграмнан алдым дейді. Иә. Енді жалпы полимология дегеннің өзі енді халық ауыз әдебиеті ғой. Ол тілден халықтан халыққа, ұрпақтан ұрпаққа жетеді да. Енді осы мен мәтелдер бұл кісі интернеттен алынған материалдар бұл кісі үшін фольклор ма? Әлде оны басқаша бір корпусқа жатқыза ма? Жалпы енді классикалық мақал мәтелдер орынды ауыстыруға болмайды, сөздерді ауыстыруға болмайды, орын тәртібін ауыстыруға болмайды деген сондай бір тұрақтылық оларға тән ғой. Соған қарағанда жаңағы сол қарсы мағынадағы мәтел дегенде осы өзі сондай термин тұсынады да, қарсы мағынадағы мәтел деген. Осы термині, осы автордың осы термині ескі полимологиямен сондай бір қақтығысып қалмай ма деген ғой. Полимология ескі. Ал жалпы полимологияда жаңашылдық бар ма? Жаңа полимология бар ма? Әлде сол қолданып отырғандардың бәрі сол ескі, бұрыннан келе жатқан нелер ма, тұрақты тіркестер ма? Твиттерде, Инстаграмнан алған полимологиялық тіркестердің ерекшелігі неде егер бар болса? Жоқ болса, ол цифрланғанда ол өзгере ма деген сияқты. Қызғышылық сұрақта ғой.
The second question is related to 100 internet platform polymology. So you have used in your work that actual polymology belongs to folklore, to oral culture. So in your work, you have used the internet-based polymological units, and you have also used the anti-polymological. Yeah? So this very concept that you are using in your work for the first time, doesn't it have any kinds of conflict with the old one, or traditional one? Because according to the traditional meaning of polymology, they are the main peculiarity that peculiar to them, the fixedness. It's impossible to change the structure of this product. So any the new ones, are there any new ones that you have found in the internet, or have you used only the old ones, the traditional polymological units? If there are any kind of new ones, are there any differences, new peculiarities? So that is very interesting for professor.
I believe that the traditional proverbs are always stable and emphasizes the old value orientation, emphasizes fixedness, and in my research, the digital proverbs and anti-proverbs were not treated as violations of this principle, and only those expressions that demonstrated structure, stability, and repeated circulation were included. And I mean, anti-proverbs always modify the traditional proverbs, but the modification itself becomes structurally stable once it is readily reproduced, and this kind of fixedness shifts from the origin form to the new transformed form. And about the some digital proverbs are totally new, and they may come from online discourse, and they will spread in online platforms. They were included only if they show that they have structural pattern regularity and generalized meaning and relatively stable features, and they will be included. And I think both of them, about the empty proverbs and the digital proverbs, compared to the traditional proverbs, the digital proverbs always show higher humorous, ironic meanings and strong social-economic themes. And they also show the faster semantic changes and greater intertextuality with popular culture. And yeah, that's all. Thank you.
So in digital sphere, you have new ones, yes?
Yeah.
Okay. So мен жаңағы дәстүрлі полиэмиологияны айтып жатыр, олардың ең бір құндылығы тұрақтылығы дейді, өзгерген күнде. Бірақ дегенмен де цифрлық әлемде көп жағдайда жаңа немесе трансформацияланған, яғни сәл өзгерістерге енген полиэмиологиялық бірліктер бар дейді. Мысалға, олар онлайн дискурста кең таралған, құрылымдық жаңа заңдылықтарға сүйенген, жалпыланған, және ең бірінші оның ерекшелігі ирония мен юморға негізделген интернет. Сондықтан да ол жерде біз қарастырғанымыз, екеуін салыстыра қарастырғанда қаншалықты өзгеріске ұшырағанын, қаншалықты кеңшіліктер қолданғанын ғана қарадық дейді. Жаңа цифрлық полиэмиологиялық бірліктер бар. Мысалы, do you have any kind of examples from new ones?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Here's digital proverbs very popular in Western culture, just like the platform like Twitter and Instagram. It's about love is love. It's actually it reflects the meaning of homosexual love, but young people like this kind of expression to show their freedom, and also Chinese has the one too. And here's a very interesting proverb about Chinese digital proverbs. It's very popular in Zhihu and Weibo. We call it 智者不入爱河，建立美丽中国，建设美丽中国. It means a wise person does not fall into the river of love, but will contribute to building a beautiful China. And it's really popular to show that the young people, they have stress for the pressure under the era, but it's a kind of humorous and ironic meaning. Thank you.
Мысалы келтіріп, мен Қытай тілінен және ағылшын тілінен, ағылшын тілінде лақ деген қолданылады көбінесе, бірақ оның алғашқы мағынасы сәл жастардың арасында бостандық деген мағынаға жақынырақ қолданылады екен. Негізі оның қолданысы әлемі сәл өзгеше болып болған. Ал Қытай тілінде жаңа айтып өтті, Қытайдағы жастардың алатын ол жерде де өзгеріс бар, трансформация мағынасында жастардың өздеріне жақын стресс, сондай мәселелерге қатысты бұрынғы қалған.
Thank you. Dear colleagues, does anyone have any other questions?
No question.
No questions. Thank you so much for this. Oh my God. If there are no further questions, we will proceed to the reviews of the scientific supervisors. The floor is given to the scientific supervisor, candidate for philological science, Бекужаева Гульнар, Al-Farabi National University. Very, very short.
Біріншіден, бәрімізге сізге және бүгінгі диссертация мүшелеріне және вице-министрге алғысымызды білдіргіміз келеді. So my review is for the dissertation research of Ань Лань on the theme linguo-cognitive and ethnocultural analysis of the concepts of marriage and family in parameology, submitted for the review of Doctor of Philosophy in the Nature Educational Program 8D02300 for philology. So the dissertation thesis of Ань Лань represents the methodologically high principled and theoretically important research work that examines English and Chinese proverbs about marriage and family from comparative and contrastive perspectives of the ethnocultural studies and the linguo-cognitive linguistics. The researcher addresses fundamental research questions about the conceptual metaphor system in cross-cultural integration, cultural value orientation, and their evolution in contemporary society. In both languages, proverbs about marriage and family examined from the dual perspectives and cognitive and ethnocultural studies. The research combines theoretical insights from two perspectives and also gives empirical evidence from along with the evolution and the dynamic development of anti-proverbs and digital proverbs. The purpose of the research is to construct the integrated analytical framework systematically revealing the similarities and differences between two corpora. So the research is based on comparative linguo-cultural analysis. Also, the researcher employed many dictionaries as presented in the presentation from Chinese corpora and about English corpora too. And also, I would like to mention that one of the dissertation's primary analytical contribution lies in the integration of qualitative comparative analysis with corpus-based verifications. The research process follows a sequence of proverbs screening, proverbs collection, classification, and comparative analysis. The researcher also employed innovative integrated methodological approach that combines dual perspective framework. It bridges cognitive and ethnocultural analysis. I would also to point out the researcher has employed modern technologies like AI and LLMS technologies and tools that gives to ensure the authenticity and the representativeness of the proverb examples. I would like also to stress on the study that ensures empirical reliability by verifying the contextual use of proverbs throughout the corpus methods. The author uses major corpora such as BMC, COCA, and CCL to confirm actual usage, check fluency, and assess temporal validity of the proverb forms. The work provides a rigorous and insightful examination of the linguistic, cognitive, and cultural dimensions of proverbs. The research also demonstrates a highly theoretical significance and practical relevance for both ethnocultural and linguo-cognitive studies. In conclusion, the dissertation research of Ань Лань is marked by its significant contributions to the comparative study of parameology, theoretical innovations in the interdisciplinary research, and practical relevance in comprehensive analytical framework. The research makes significant contributions to the approaches that were used in the dissertation thesis. In general, the research achieved its objectives and aim and produces systematic comprehensive study which reached its intended objectives. I consider that the dissertation complies with the requirements of the section 2
of the regulations for awarding academic degrees for the Committee of the Control in Education and Science of Ministry of Education and Science of the Republic of Kazakhstan. And I also believe that the research Ань Лань deserves the awarded academic degree of the Doctor of Philosophy in the education program 8D023 006 for philology. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much, dear Gulnara. The review of the foreign scientific consultant, Professor Yang Guru, has been recorded. We now present it for your attention. Please.
I'm Professor Gou Yang from School of Foreign Studies, Xi'an University, mainland China. I'm saying hello and sending my greetings here on June the 9th, 2026. I'm also providing my co-supervisor's comments and a disclaimer for Ms. Ань Лань for her dissertation. Here is my comments and a disclaimer. The dissertation, Lingual, Cognitive, and Ethnocultural Analysis of the Concepts Marriage and Family in Paremiology, is a comprehensive and rigorously conducted study. It employs cognitive linguistics and ethnocultural studies as a theoretical framework to systematically analyze conceptual metaphors, prototype structures, and cultural values in English and Chinese proverbs on marriage and family. The research combines traditional corpora with contemporary digital data, including AI-assisted sources, ensuring a robust and transparent methodology. The dissertation is well-structured, logically coherent, and thoroughly grounded in relevant literature, demonstrating both depth and breadth appropriate for doctoral research. In terms of academic contribution, the study advances comparative paremiology and cross-cultural cognitive research, offering a replicable analytical model for culturally marked linguistic expressions. Its findings provide valuable insights for translation studies, intercultural communication, and AI language processing. Overall, the dissertation meets the standards for the award of a doctoral degree, reflects high academic quality, and demonstrates significant theoretical and practical relevance. I recommend its acceptance and the conferring of the PhD degree. I will give my disclaimer. The comments presented here are made solely from the perspective of research evaluation. The author and the academic committee overseeing the dissertation bear sole responsibility for ensuring research originality and for addressing any issues related to plagiarism, academic integrity, and research ethics. Thank you so much. Here is my comment and disclaimer. Thank you.
Thank you so much, dear Professor Yang Guru. Dear members of the Direction Council and participants of the defense, we now give the floor of the official reviewers. The floor is given to PhD Олег Парва Ангелов, Kazakh National Women Teacher University, Almaty, Kazakhstan. Dear Igor, please read it in a very concise.
Thank you, dear Chairperson and esteemed members of the Dissertation Council, dear professors, let me begin my review of the official review for dissertation work online on the same lingual, cognitive, and ethnocultural analysis of the concepts marriage and family in paremiology, presented for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in the specialty AD02306 for philology Western languages. So the first criteria, the topic of this thesis corresponds to the directions of development of science or state programs First point, 1.1, compliance with priority areas of science development or government programs. The dissertation topic, lingua cognitive and ethnocultural analysis of the concepts marriage and family in the paremiology corresponds to the objectives of the state program for the implementation of language policy in the Republic of Kazakhstan for 2022-2025. And the concept of family and gender policy in the Republic of Kazakhstan until 2023. Then the dissertation corresponds to the priority direction of the development of science approved by the Higher Scientific and Technical Commission and the Government of the Republic of Kazakhstan. The dissertation research is consistent with the state policy priorities in the field of linguistics, ethnocultural, and intercultural studies, including the preservation of cultural heritage, the development of multilingual and intercultural communication, and the strengthening of national identity under conditions of globalization. Criteria 2, importance for science. The dissertation work makes a significant contribution to the field of cognitive linguistics, ethnocultural studies, and intercultural communication. The research of the study contributes to the advancement of theoretical and methodological approaches in intercultural research, paremiology, the enhancement of cultural awareness, and the development of specialized corpus. Third criteria, the principle of independence, self-reliance level is high. Dissertation demonstrates a high level of research independence, as the author independently developed a conceptual framework and methodological foundations within cognitive linguistics and ethnocultural approaches, collected and systematized a substantial portion of English and Chinese proverbs from authoritative dictionaries, national corpora, and digital platforms, and designed and implemented a comparative analytical procedure involving classification, interpretation, and cognitive ethnocultural analysis. Criteria number 4, the principle of inner unity. The relevance of the dissertation is well specified by the growing importance of studying the cognitive and ethnocultural foundations of English and Chinese proverbs in the context of globalization, intercultural communication, and the contemporary transformations, as well as the applied significance of language teachings, translation, and artificial intelligence discourse. Then the purpose and objectives correspond to the topic of the series, and all sections and provisions of the series are logically interconnected, completely interconnected. Criteria number 5, scientific novelty principle. The new solutions proposed by the author are reasoned and evaluated in comparison with known solutions. There is a critical analysis. The dissertation contains a critical analysis of existing approaches in cognitive linguistics and ethnocultural studies, highlighting the limitations in accounting for the integrated cognitive and ethnocultural features of English and Chinese proverbs about marriage and family. Are the scientific results and provisions new? Yeah, completely new. The scientific results and provisions presented in the dissertation demonstrate scientific novelty and make a meaningful contribution to cognitive linguistics and ethnocultural studies by proposing an original integrated linguo-cognitive and ethnocultural approach to English and Chinese proverbs about marriage and family. Then criteria 6, the validity of the main findings. All the main conclusions of the dissertation research are based on strong scientific evidence. Criteria 7, it is necessary to answer the following questions for each provision separately. All provisions are proven. Then 7.2, is it trivial? No, the main provisions of the research submitted for defense are not trivial. Then the principle of reliability. The methodology is described in sufficient detail as it clearly outlines the qualitative comparative approach, the use of corpus-based verification, and the sequential analytical procedures of selection, classification, comparative analysis, and interpretation. And what about the practical value principle? The dissertation has theoretical value as it integrates cognitive linguistics and ethnocultural studies to review the cognitive models and cultural logic underlying English and Chinese proverbs about marriage and family, thereby contributing to the development of intercultural phenomenological studies. And the dissertation has significant practical value as its findings and developed corpora can be applied in language teaching, translation, intercultural communication, and artificial intelligence systems, demonstrating a high potential for the practical implementation of the obtained results across educational, sociocultural, and technological domains. And about the notes, criteria number 11, notes on thesis. Here I've noted only one note here. While the dissertation demonstrates substantial theoretical and practical significance, it provides a limited consideration of its alignment with relevant state programs or strategic initiatives. A more detailed explanation of the study's contribution within the framework of such programs and initiatives would further strengthen the academic and practical value of the research. And second note, the stated purpose, as it's mentioned in the dissertation, is to construct an integrated analytical model based. However, in the dissertation, the integrated analytical model itself is not clearly presented or sufficiently elaborated. It would be beneficial for the PhD candidate to provide a more explicit description and visualization of the proposed model. And then the last is the decision of the official reviewer is to recommend that the committee awards the degree of Doctor of Philosophy to the doctoral candidate Ань Лань. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, dear Stefanos. The floor is given to Ань Лань to send forth on the news points.
Okay. Thank you very much for your valuable comments and suggestions. I fully accept your observation that the connection between my research and the national policies or strategic initiatives could indeed be explained more clearly. From the perspective of research significance, this dissertation is related to the state program for the implementation of language policy in the Republic of Kazakhstan for 2020-2025, and the concepts of family and gender policy in the Republic of Kazakhstan until 2030. The former emphasizes the role of language in preserving cultural memory, transmitting national value, and promoting intercultural communication. While the later focuses on family values, gender relations, and social ethics. Proverbs about marriage and family directly reflect these issues as they preserve in concepts linguistic form different people's understandings of marriage, family responsibilities, gender roles, and intergenerational relations. Considering Kazakhstan's multilingual and multicultural context, the findings of this study may also provide useful references for foreign language teaching, translation practice, and intercultural communication by helping learners understand the cultural logic behind proverbs rather than only their literal meaning. Therefore, I fully accept the reviewer's comment. In the further improvement of this dissertation review, supplement this part and explain more clearly the relationship between this research and the language policy, family and gender policy, and the development of intercultural communication. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Giro, are you satisfied with the answer?
I'm fully satisfied with the answer.
The floor is given to the doctoral candidate and Lan to report it. Sorry. The floor is now given to the Ismail to PhD Ismailova Fariza, Engineering Sagadi University of International Business. Kazakhstan, Luis Fariza.
Good afternoon, dear chairperson and members of dissertation council. I will shortly represent the review of the dissertation submitted by Ань Лань on the topic lingua cognitive and ethical analysis of the concept marriage and the family in criminology for the degree of doctor of philosophy PG in foreign philology. The topic of the dissertation is relevant and important. The corresponds of modern research direction in cognitive linguistics, ethnolinguistics, intercultural communication, and comparative studies. Today, understanding cultural values through language is especially important because people from different cultures communicate more actively than ever before. The dissertation studies how the concepts of marriage and family are reflected in English and Chinese proverbs. Through this analysis, the author shows how language reflects cultural values, traditions, social norms, and ways of thinking. The research makes a valuable contribution to linguistic science. It combines cognitive and ethnocultural approaches and helps us better understand the relationship between language, culture, and human community. The author demonstrates a high level of independence. The linguistics material was collected, classified, analyzed, and interpreted by the doctoral student. The research objectives, methods, and the conclusion were developed independently. The relevance of the study is clearly justified. The content of the dissertation fully corresponds to its title, aims, and objectives. All chapters are logically connected and consistently develop the main idea of the research. The dissertation has a clear structure. The first part presents the theoretical background. Second part discusses ethnocultural aspects of proverbs, and the third provides a comparative analysis of linguistic defining proverbs related to marriage and the family. One of the strengths of the dissertation is its scientific novelty. The author proposes an integrated approach that combines cognitive linguistics and ethnocultural analysis. Special attention is also given to modern digital proverbs and the anti-proverbs, which shows how traditional expression changed in contemporary communication. The research findings may be applied in higher education, translation studies, intercultural communication, language teaching, linguocultural analysis, and artificial intelligence technologies related to semantic interpretation and the metaproperties. The practical recommendation and application proposed in the dissertation are completely new and scientifically significant, particularly regarding the interpretation of cultural conditional expression and the digital proverb system. The quality of writing and academic writing quality high. The structure of the works is logical and the coherence, the terminology is used thoroughly, and the research material is presented clearly and is similar. The dissertation is carried out at a high academic and methodological level. Certain aspects of the study, particularly the analysis of digital proverb transformation in contemporary discourse, could be further developed through additional illustrative examples and a broader discussion of modern sociocultural changes. The doctoral student scientific publications demonstrate a high academic and research level and adequately reflect the main theoretical practical results of the dissertation research. In conclusion, I recommend awarding Ань Лань the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, PhD in Philology, 8D02-306 for philology, Western languages. Thank you for that. Oh, thank you so much. The board is given to the doctoral candidate and Lань to report the news comments.
Thank you very much for your valuable comments and suggestions. I accept your observation that the analysis of digital proverbs transformation in contemporary discourse could be further strengthened through more illustrative examples and a broader discussion of modern sociocultural changes. In my presentation, digital proverbs have already been included in the analysis. I use several examples to show that traditional proverbs are not completely fixed expressions, but dynamic linguistics unites that can be reinterpreted, modified, and adapted to new communicative environments, especially in digital discourse. And in future research, we will collect more examples from social media, online discourse, anti-proverbs, and modified proverb forms. This will make it possible to show more clearly how modern social cultural changes, such as individual choice, gender equality, changing family roles, and new intergenerational relations influence the use and the transformation of traditional proverbs. So thank you again for this helpful recommendation. I will take this into account in the further development of my research.
Thank you.
Thank you. But dear Teresa, are you satisfied with the answer?
Yes.
Thank you. Dear members of the Dissertation Council, we will now open the floor, the general discussion. Please.
The strengths of this book include a comprehensive cognitive cultural study of the formation and functioning of English and Chinese proverbs on the topic of marriage and family from the perspective of the cross-cultural harmony. I would especially like to note that the dissertation candidate, for its theoretical basis, also drew on the works of Kazakhstani scholars who have fruitfully studied phrenology in various aspects. It has been established that commonality is determined by universal human values, while differences are associated with different types of cultures, collectivist Chinese culture and individualistic English culture. An important conclusion was the transformation of marital values, characteristic of today's globalized society, from duty to mutual empathy. A study of anti-proverb use in digital communication, particularly by the younger generation in both English-speaking countries and China. It is of interest. It was found that the content of these digital proverbs reflects contemporary social realities, such as a phenomenon of mobile dating culture, and corresponds to the cognitive and communicative habits of the younger generation who use irony, humor, or the deconstruction of traditional values to convey new social attitudes. One important practical aspect of this study is translation. For me, as a translation teacher, it is very significant. Is it noted that improved translation quality, different translation strategies should be employed? For example, using literal translation to preserve the culture characteristics of the source language, free translation to find similar expression in the target culture, and in other cases, using the translation technique of explication. As a suggestion, I would like to highlight the following. The terminology should be used more clearly. Instead of the term phrenological system of proverbs, use phrenological system or system of proverbs. And when using the term two-dimensional analytical model, a diagram or drawing of it should be provided. Overall, the completed work meets all the requirements, and its author, Ань Лань, researched the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, PhD, in the specialty 02306, Foreign Philology, Western Languages.
You will be continuing the work as a dissertation council.
Mhm.
Second, Nenad
Кішкене өзім
Volkan.
кейбір өзім ұсыныстарымды айта кетсем, жалпы жұмыстың Қытай тіліндегі мақал мәтелде берілген қанатты сөздер араласып кеткен, енді бірізділік жоқ. Кейбір кемшін тұстарын айтсам, енді ол бұл жерде тақырып когнитивтік жағын лингвистика бойынша берілген, бірақ мен бұның ішінде когнитивті талдауларды көп көре алмадым. Бұл өз когнитивтік лингвистика өте қиын сала. Сосын бұл жерде этнолингвистика жағына Қытайдың өзі радиолегизмдер мақал мәтелден өзі шығу тарихы болады. Ол ерекшелік сондай. Оның өзі 1000 жылдан бұрын, 2000 жылдан бұрын қайдан шықты деген өз тарихы арнайы мектепте оқытылады. Осыны жазып жақсы болар еді. Бұл жерде тек қана мақал мәтелдерді аударып сипаттамаған түрінде берілген сияқты. Кішкене талдаулар аз, салыстырулар аз орыс тілімен. Содан жаңағы республика кеңестік төрағасы жақсы айтты. Құрылым ұқсамайтын екі тілді қалай зерттеді деген бұл кісі тұшымды жауап бере алмады. Шын айтқанда когнитивтік лингвистика Қытайда үлкен мектеп бар. Оның мектептің өкілдері ағылшын тілінде өте жақсы зерттелген. Венчи деген ғалым бар. Осы ағылшын тілін зерттеген өзінің мектебі бар. Оның қазір осы қазірдің докторанттарына шетелдік жетекші болып жүр кісі. Құдай қаласа келесі жылы лекция оқуға келеді. Сосын жерінде бір жаңағы анықтамада бір айта кететіні докторант жаңағы когнитивтік лингвистиканы талдау сияқтыларды жаңа анықтама ішіне кіргізіп жіберген. Бұл жерде ең дұрысы Қытай тіліндегі жаңағы тұрақты тіркестер жаңағы қиын. Жаңа мен айттым ғой жаңағы деген солар анықтама берсе жақсы болар еді. Бұл бәрімізге түсінікті кейбір ұғымдарға анықтама берудің қажеті жоқ сияқты. Жалпы диссертациясы жалпы жинаған материалдар өте жақсы, неке мен отбасына қатысты көптеген мақалдармен Қытай тілі өте қызықты. Бірақ соны сипаттап берумен ғана шектелген. Сол салыстырулар көп болса, жаңағы шығу тегін айтса, сосын көп жерлерінде автордың өзіндік талдаулар жетіспей тұрған сияқты. Жаңағы 10 бетке дейін, 10 шақты бетке дейін көбінде сілтемелер жоқ, тек қана аудармамен шектелген сияқты. Осыны ескерсе. Енді ғылыми жұмысты докторанттың өзіндік талдау бар, өзінің ойы болу керек. Басқа ғалымдардың еңбектерімен салыстыру керек. Өзі қандай ой қорытқандығын айту керек сияқты. Осы жағы жетіспей тұрған сияқты. Жаңағы әсіресе когнитивтік жағы қайтадан кішкене дамытса болар еді. Болашақта осыны ескерсе деген ойым. Рахмет.
Actually, so I've given some kind of recommendations related to the work of Ань Лань. The first one is about cognitive analysis. Unfortunately, the professor couldn't find many examples, units of cognitive analysis. And especially in Chinese linguistics, it is very important, significant to give the origin and history of each proverb. So, but unfortunately, in this proverb, it's given just in descriptive form. It would be better to make some kind of interpretations, analysis, and especially from the cognitive perspective. And this point is a little bit in left. Next one is in definitions. It should be noted also that PhD student has given, for example, the definition to the word cognitive analysis, but this very term is very widely spread. Instead of it, it would be better to define some Chinese terms that might be very interesting for the readers also. General material is huge and great, but unfortunately it's a little bit limited with descriptions. So it should be developed with more comprehensive analysis in future perspective. PhD student, moreover, should have her own conclusions and thoughts while she is comparing and making some contrastive analysis with English and the Chinese materials. So it should be taken into consideration for further researches.
Thank you. To report it to the reviewers.
Oh,
Your answer.
Okay, and thank you so much for your valuable suggestions and the recommendations. And I'd like to say that I fully accept all your suggestions. And in my reviewers, I'll take all these suggestions into consideration. And thank you again. I think in the future reviewers, in the future researchers, research and will see better. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Dear colleagues, is the discussion enough? Dear Yana Alexandrovna, do you have?
I wanted to just participate in discussion, if you allow, just a brief talk, yeah? Or is it too late?
No.
No, it's fine. Here, can I say a few words? Actually, I want to support this dissertation because of its relevance and scholarly value of this dissertation. This study, in fact, addresses an important topic at the intersection of cognitive linguistics, ethnocultural studies, and parameology. And the dissertation is especially valuable because it treats marriage and family not as isolated thematic fields, but as an interconnected system reflected the full life cycle of family relations, including partner selection, marital relations, child rearing, and kinship, and intergenerational connections. So I also find the methodological design very convincing. The author combines cognitive linguistic analysis, which is my favorite actually, conceptual method theory, ethnocultural interpretation, and corpus-based verification. So another strong point of this dissertation is its attention to the evolution of proverbs in contemporary communication, including digital proverbs and anti-proverbs. And this makes this research relevant not only for traditional parameology, but also for modern intercultural communication, and even for the development of artificial intelligence and the large language models in culturally, let's put it, sensitive semantic interpretation. I just wanted to add that last year, I had a PhD student here and a graduate student, Milana Krasotskaya, who wrote a dissertation on and defended a dissertation on memes as idiomatic expressions. So that's exactly what Ань Лань was doing, actually. That's why I asked this question about their interrelation between digital proverbs and memes. Yeah, so she managed to prove that meme is a type or subtype of an idiom, idiomatic expression in modern English language. Yes, she was talking about English. That's why I would like to emphasize that this dissertation demonstrates theoretical relevance, methodological consistency, and practical significance. And the results may be useful for different fields, including cognitive linguistics, translation studies, intercultural communication, language teaching, and further research in culturally embedded figurative language. So I therefore support this dissertation, and I believe that it meets the requirements as it has been told for the PhD degree in linguistics. I'm thankful for the opportunity to talk. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, dear Yana Alexandrovna. Dear colleagues, is the discussion enough? Thank you. Dear members of the Dissertation Council, if there are no comments or amendments, I propose that you move the final stage of the procedure. We will now procedure to the vote on the dissertation. The floor is given to the academic secretary of explain to voting procedure.
Dear members of Dissertation Council and the Option Reviews, I will now explain to the voting procedure. The Dissertation Council will conduct a secret ballot to adopt one of the following decisions. First, to award the degree of Doctor of Philosophy PhD. The second, to return the dissertation for revision, and to send the dissertation for redefense, and to reject the awarding of the degree of Doctor of Philosophy PhD. The dissertation may be returned for revision if the required corrections do not change the essence of the research and concern only minor textual remarks. If the dissertation does not meet the established requirements or only partly meets or the relevant principles, it is returned for redefense. If there is a violation of academic integrity or if the principles of scientific novelty, internal consistency, and validity are not met, the dissertation is rejected and the degree is not awarded. Official reviews take part in the secret ballot and their votes are counted equally with the votes of the members of Dissertation Council. Please follow the standard regulation during the voting process. Please turn off your microphones until the secret ballot is completed. Thank you.
Thank you, Omar Zonbelilan. According to the procedure, we must now establish Жмабекова Айгуль, Doctor of Philological Science, Professor, Chair of Commission, Karibek Karibekulu Tolkun, Candidate of Philological Science, Associate Professor, Members of Commission, Dosanova Albina, PhD, Associate Professor, Members of Commission. Do your council members have many objections of the proposed composition of the commission? No objections. Thank you. The Counting Commission and it is chair appeared unanimously. Dear members of the dissertation council, you now resume the meeting. The floor is given to the chair of the accounting communication, Professor Жумабекова Айгуль Казкеновна, to announce the results of the secret ballot, please. Это называется шал.
So the meeting of the elected counting commission of the dissertation council regarding the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, PhD, in educational programs 60.21300, 60.23003 linguistics, 60.02100, 62.02306 foreign philology, 60.01705 foreign language, 2 foreign languages, 60.02070, 60.02302 translation studies, 60.02208 Turkology at Al-Faradi Kazakh National University, Almaty. Composition of the Counting Commission, Jumabekova Gul, Chair of Counting Commission, Palebekov Polkovin, a member, Dosanova being a member. The commission was formed to count the secret votes of the dissertation submitted by Ань Лань for the award of the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, PhD. The full composition of the dissertation council consists of 9 members. 9 members of the dissertation council participated in the meeting, included 9 holders of doctoral degrees in the relevant of the dissertation. Results of the vote on awarding Ань Лань the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, PhD within the education programs is the 02306 foreign philology, Western languages. Award the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, PhD of all Dr. Clinical Form 9. Send the dissertation for revision 0, recommend the dissertation for redefine 0, refuse the award the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, PhD of Doctor of Profile 0. Chair and commission members.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Aygul Jumabekova. We must acknowledge the dissertation of the dissertation council. I propose that we put into a vote who is against. No one. Who abstains? No one. With fire, all members vote is 5. There were no notes against. The discussion adopted unanimously. Based on the results of the dissertation defense, the dissertation council unanimously decided to award and one the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, PhD, in the educational program AD 02306 foreign philology, Western language.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Concluding speech. Yeah?
Dear colleagues, you have the draft final statement and the classification codes of the dissertation. The next item is the discussion. Will you know discussion the draft final statement? Does anyone the comments on the draft final sentences?
No question.
No questions. Thank you. Let us determine the classification codes of the dissertation. Dear members of the council, let us proceed to the approval of the final statement. Dissertation. Classification of the nature of the description results. What?
Scientific errors.
About classification fee, just of presentation.
1.2.
1.2. The level of novel of the dissertation results. The value of the dissertation results. 3.1. Correspondence of the dissertation topic to the description of scientific development and or government programs.
0.1.
1 and 2. Международный. Тут the level of implementation use of the dissertation results having practical signification. Recommendation for the expanded use of the results of the dissertation that have completely applied signification.
6.1.
Significance. Are there any suggestions? If they are not suggestions, I propose that you pass into a vote who is against, no one, who abstains, one, who is forward, all. There are no objections. The draft final statement is approved unanimously as the basis. Thank you. The floor is given to Ань Лань.
So, thank you so much, respected chair and members of the Delegation Council, reviewers, and my supervisor and dear guests. Thank you so much for your time, attention, and the valuable comments. Somebody says that PhD means permanent head damage, and somebody say that PhD means kids have dreams. And for me, PhD means pain, hope, and determination. My PhD journey is not very easy for me, but my life in Almaty was very important and very happy for me. I studied here, I lived here, and I grew a lot here. I also got my dear cat and my dear dog here. Their name is Pierre and Diana. And they gave much comfort during my this long time. I would like to thank my supervisors, Professor Guinard and Professor Gao Yang, for their help and their support. I also want to thank my family and friends, and they always supported me and gave me strength. And most of all, I'd like to thank my boyfriend, Shan Shibo. His love, patience, and the support helped me keep going until today. Love you. Thank you all again. I will always remember your help and the kindness. I will always remember today. Thank you so much.
Микрофон Даушева. Можете выключить микрофон?
I think
Қайтадан жаңа дауыс беру деген жерден әлі постоянно сөз бересіз.
Мен тағы да оқимын ба?
чуть-чуть подождите. Минут 5.
Просто дауыс берейік та, зачем қайтадан оны оқуға? Қолмен көтеріп, 9 деп айттық қой. Voting.
Так вот, так.
Someone pressed twice, that's why voting process will be
Все берем, да?
repeated again.
Я как попугай.
Нет, нет, нет. Продолжаем. Сейчас вот это у нас 10 голосов получилось. Сейчас повторно будем читать. Ага.
Dear members of the Dissertation Council, the now resume meeting, the floor is given to the chair of the Counting Commission, Professor Жумабекова Айгуль Каскеновна, to announce the results of the secret ballot. Super normal.
Minutes of the meeting of the latest Counting Commission of the Dissertation Council for awarding the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, PhD. Position of the Counting Commission, Жумабекова, Chair, Албек, Member of the Summary Member. The position of the Dissertation Council consists of 9 members. 9 members of the Dissertation Council participate in the meeting, including 9 holders of doctoral degrees in the relevant field of the dissertation. Results: award the degree of Doctor of Philosophy 9, send the dissertation for revision 0, recommend the dissertation for rate defense 0, refuse to award the degree for PhD 0. Chair and member.
Thank you, dear Professor Жумабекова Айгуль. We must know about the discussion of the Dissertation Council. I propose that we put into a vote. Who is against? No one. Who abstains? No one. Who is in fire? All. All members vote is fire. They we know what is against. The discussion in adopted unanimously based on the results of the dissertation defense. The Dissertation Council unanimously decides to award Ань Лань the degree of Doctor of Philosophy PhD in educational program AD 02306 Foreign Philology Western Language. Dear colleagues, you have the draft final statement and the classification codes of the dissertation. The next item is the discussion. We will now discuss the draft final statement. Does anyone have comments on the draft final statement?
No comments.
No comments, thank you. Let us determine the classification codes of dissertation. Dear members of the council, classification features of the dissertation. The nature of the dissertation result. 1.1 to 1.2.
1.2.
I think right over the sorry. The level of the novelty of the dissertation results.
2.1.
Thank you. The value of the dissertation results.
3.1.
Okay. Correspondence of the dissertation topic of the directions of scientific development and the overall program.
4.1.
Thank you. The level in implementation use of the dissertation results having practical significance. Significance, sorry.
5.1.
Okay. Recommendation for the expanded use the results of the dissertation that have a high significance.
6.1.
Are there any suggestions?
Suggestions.
If there are no suggestions, I propose that you part into the vote. Who is against? No. Who abstains? No one. Who is favor? There are no objections. The draft final statement is approved universally as the basis. Thank you. The floor is given to Ань Лань.
Short.
Oh.
Very short.
Thank you so much again. And thank you for your time and your help and your attention. And I hope today is my big day, I have to say. And I hope you enjoy today also. Thank you.
Thank you, dear Ань Лань. I wish you success. Yes, dear members of dissertation council and the guests, thank you for your work. The meeting of the dissertation council on the defense of Ань Лань dissertation is decided closing. Goodbye.
Goodbye, dear colleagues. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.